Question number 8, Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Defence. Has there been a reduction in the capacity of the Army in the last 3 years to sustain an overseas deployment? If so, why?
Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
No. In fact, the Army's ability to sustain overseas deployments has improved. In 2014, the New Zealand Defence Force are able to deploy a light task group of 250 and a combined armed task group of 560. All NZDF annual reports 2006 through to 2013 showed that the NZDF could not have sustained these deployments and its other commitments, so clearly there's been a real turnaround. Despite the member's regular assertions to the contrary, the Defence Force is in much better shape today than when he was the Minister of Defence.
A supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker, why does the Minister answer in that way when these two documents that I have here, in his own name, both of them, say that the Defence Force could not be guaranteed to sustain an overseas deployment for more than 12 months, when under Labor the Army sustained deployments in Timor, the Solomons and Bamiyan simultaneously and continuously for 10 years?
Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
Speaker, what the member knows is actually under the National Government we sustained exactly the same deployments. He refers to documents which he doesn't quote from. I can quote from a document, the New Zealand Herald. I've got a copy of it here, actually. September the 4th, 2008, when he was Minister, and the verdict from the Herald was, can't fly, can't sail...
Order! 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 Both members will resume their seat. Order. Point of order, the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker, it's a point of order and the Minister's interjecting, Mr Speaker.
Order. This is a point of order and it will be heard in silence.
Mr Speaker, since the Minister has denied the documents and said I won't quote from them, I seek the leave to table this document, which I don't believe to be available to all members. It's Additional Estimates Questions, Vote Defence Force 2014, where it says you can't sustain more than 12 months.
Order. I'll put the leave and the House can decide whether to accept that document. But I'd be grateful if in the future a member would seek leave after a question is answered rather than interrupted. Leave is sought to table that particular document as described by Mr Goff. Is there any objection? There is none. It can be tabled. Supplementary question, Honourable.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Was...
Order.
You'll keep, sweetie. But not for long.
Order. I'm the referee. Thursday afternoon, 1-1. Supplementary question, Honourable Phil Goff.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Is the cause of the Minister answering my question saying that there is a risk that they can't sustain now more than 12 months the fact that his government has slashed Defence Force numbers in the regular force by 1,200 under their watch, and as the documents from the Defence Force say, that critical trade areas and ranks have been seriously degraded? And is that the reason why our overseas deployments under international peace operations are the lowest in 20 years?
Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
There's a lot of no's you could respond to those questions with. What I can say, we've got virtually the same number of people in the Army now as we did in 2005. What I do have here, I've got the figures here from the Chief of Army. What I have got here is a long list of things the Army couldn't do when Phil Goff was Minister. There's about 20, but the Army couldn't provide a battalion-level deployment.
Order. I don't think that the answer continuing along the line will help the order of the House. The members answered the question.
Mr Speaker.
Point of order. And again, this is a point of order. It will be heard inside. Dr Jonathan Coleman.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table this extensive list of the things the Army couldn't do when Phil Goff was the Minister, and it's an original document from original sources, but all true.
The House can sort this out. Leave us to sort. I apologise to the honourable source of the document.
It comes from the Defence Force.
Order. Listen. Order. Settle down. The Minister has said it's come from the Defence Force. On that basis, leave is sought to table. Well, first of all, I'll get this sorted out whether the member wants to speak to.
Can the Minister first assure the House that he's not tabling a document from the New Zealand Herald?
No, well, we've heard that. It's not a Herald. Order. Member will resume his seat. We're going to put the leave. Do you want to clarify this before it's put? Order.
I want to just clarify, this is information given directly by the Defence Force to my office, assembled into an easy-to-read document, which I'm happy to take.
Order. That may make a difference, but we'll test the House to find out. Leave is sought now to table a document that's been prepared by the Minister's office with information delivered from the Defence Force. Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is none. It can be tabled.
Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to seek the leave of the House to table a Cabinet document. It's dated the 23rd of October 2013, and it says that we've got the smallest number of personnel deployed in overseas peacekeeping operations.
Order, we don't need the description. The Cabinet document is dated 23rd October last year. Leave is sought to table it. Is there any objection? There is not. It can be.
Order, Mr. Speaker.
Order. We have a point of order, the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr. Speaker, I seek the leave to table a document from the Office of the Auditor-General pointing out that there has been a net reduction of 1,200 in regular Defence Force personnel under the National Government.
If it's a report by the Auditor-General, it will. Well, I'll accept the assurance from the member that it's an Auditor-General's report that hasn't been made public. On that basis, I will put the leave and the House will sort this out. Leave is sought to table that particular Auditor-General's document. Is there any objection? There is none. It can be tabled.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr. Speaker, to the Minister, what's been the impact on Defence Force capabilities of defence contractors like Babcock's, who were found in 6 months of the last year to have key performance indicator ratings at 5, the lowest of all grades, a grade which is described as unacceptable? That's unacceptable performance, and what's the Minister doing about it?
Honourable Dr. Jonathan.
Speaker, the impact is that we've sorted out the sort of mess that used to happen all the time when Phil Goff was Minister, and so we've corrected that and taken remedial action to make sure it can't happen again.
Mr.
Supplementary question, Honourable Phil Goff.
Has another Defence Force contractor called Miltech been referred to the Office of the Auditor-General for investigation because it may not be certified to provide services like the servicing of the life jackets such as worn by Private Michael Ross, who was drowned, and because there were huge conflicts of interest? And what's the reason why the Minister has been forced to refer them after this rose in an inquiry from myself and from the media?
Honourable Dr. Jonathan Collins.
Speaker, the member is always trying to make political capital out of the deaths of New Zealand service people. But on the day I received the briefing or notice of the Miltech situation, I wrote a letter to the OAG asking that office to investigate Miltech. And as I'm very concerned about what I read.
Question number 9, Melissa Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development.